Justice League, and once again, we just want to talk about all the behind-the-scenes footage in Justice League and whether it appeared in the movie and where did it appear in the movie, because there's a lot of stuff that Zack Snyder did. So let's get into that, shall we? So first of all, we see a scene here with the Flash. This is clearly underneath Gotham. This is in Gotham's tunnel system. All right, this is the Flash in Gotham's tunnel system, and here we see Zack Snyder shooting the Flash. Okay, let me just zoom out a little bit. You see the railway roads, the railway. Of course, this is also the stuff in which the pulley comes in on the Flash here. Okay, so this is obviously in the tunnel system of Gotham that the Flash is seen present here. And I believe this is when he is rescuing Victor Stone's father, Silas Stone, and the others. This is when he comes through that portion of Gotham right there. So that was in the movie. This is Aquaman. Now, while this statue here, and this is a statue with armaments and stuff, this is where he gets his armor from. And I guess he went back here to get the armor and the I don't know if you call that the trident or whatever. So he asks Mira. Mira probably sends him here. But this shot, this particular shot, was actually changed up a bit, where he comes up, he kind of pulls up there, and instead of seeing this, we see in the final cut a Atlantean soldier just kind of lying limp, and he looks ahead and he goes somewhere else. Okay, so maybe he comes back here to get something. I don't know, but this is the behind-the-scenes footage that Zack Snyder was looking at here. Here, this is an uncompleted work. This is CGI here you're seeing with the parademons, and they haven't completed it, but this is Batman when he jumps down from the top and he squashes that parademon under his feet, and then he fights the other two. That's from that scene. It's again in the Gotham tunnel system. Alright, and Cyborg attacks and saves his father, which is somewhere here. The footage is somewhere in here. We'll get to that. Here is Zack Snyder. He's showing that final battle sequence, what he wants from the Amazons, using their bow and arrows. You can see an Amazon in the background there. Here is Jason Momoa, and he has a scene where he's actually acting with Amber Heard, and we saw them act out something with each other in the movie. Notice he is bareback. He doesn't have his armors yet, and this is where they had the discussion, and Amber kind of clears out space for air, and they have a discussion inside the air bubble because she can control water. Mira. There you go. Mira's suit looks more silverish. It's actually green. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there with that color scheme. But otherwise, this is very interesting because we know that they have some dialogue in the movie. So this definitely confirms that this is the Zack Snyder. This is all Zack Snyder here. So it's very possible that that dialogue between Aquaman and Mira, while we may have done reshoots, it was already in the original. Here is definitely, this is from Iceland. This is Aquaman in the lower level when he was talking to Bruce Wayne, who's at the upper level. Remember where he says, that's not what the saying says. Okay. That's a scene there. This is Aquaman. This is the early part of the scene where Aquaman slams Bruce Wayne into the wall. He literally physically did it. This is the scene I was talking about, where the cyborg saves the father. Okay, so the scene that we just saw with who is it? Was it Batman? Let me see if I can get that scene. It's a couple of scenes away. This scene here where Batman jumps down on the parademon, starts kicking parademon's butt. That comes a little bit after Cyborg here rescues his father here, which is this is Silas Stone, played by the Terminator guy. Okay, so you can see him on the ground there, and these are the parademons right here. These are parademons. I believe this is Zack just enacting something. I guess it's a parademon pointing at Cyborg. It's really cool. So that whole scene where Cyborg rescues his father, or just starts something. There's the scene right there. But this scene here that Zach is editing is obviously it's an incomplete version because these look like Terminators almost, but they'll eventually look like parademons. They're still rendering the CGI for this. They're still rendering it, so that's why they look like how they look here. Alright, so I thought that was pretty cool. Here's Zach looking at Deathstroke. Alright, and that hinted that Deathstroke was going to be in the movie. Here's Momoa and Ben Affleck. This is Aquaman talking to Bruce Wayne, talking about him as the Batman. So you see these are all shot by Zach, and these are all in the movie. There's Aquaman in the movie again, and this is him. It may have been reshot, or it may not have been reshot. People say it's Whedon. They give credit for how Aquaman was behaving in the movie, but I can't really say because here he is kind of putting up his foot just like how he did in the movie. So, and this is Zack Snyder stuff. This is not, this was Zack Snyder stuff here. So I don't know what to say. I really can't tell you if it was Whedon actually that pulled off that Lasso of Truth thing. I don't know if it was Zack or Whedon, because I'll show you another shot where it's Zack here. This is in the underground tunnel again, underground passageway. That's Batman, Wonder Woman, and they're dealing with parademons and stuff at another level. Here they are again in the underground passageway. Flash, Batman, and Wonder Woman. This is Bruce Wayne. He's throwing the Batarang at Barry Allen. Of course, this is one take. Barry Allen's not even there. I mean, not Barry Allen, but Ezra Miller's not even there. This is Durson. I forgot what her name is. She's a writer, a great horseback rider. But anyway, she was a primary character in the movie, and you see her there. Again, all this is Zack Snyder. There's more Zack. This is probably at the memorial site. This is the footage that was cut from the movie. We didn't see any of this. This is Zack here, and he's with Ray Fisher, who's playing Cyborg. We never really got any of these scenes. None of them. Not the football matches, nothing. So we don't have anything of Victor Stone's past history per se. We just saw them in pictures when Victor was kind of going through some stuff. And he finds out Bruce Wayne is behind. This is the behind-the-scenes footage with Aquaman. So the footage you just saw with Aquaman going up to the where Zack was screening, where you see Aquaman going up to the sort of suit statue thing, that is this year. It's really cool. Now I like this because this is really cool. They're all watching at footage, whereas Jeremy Irons is getting up to speed with some tech here in the background. He has to know what that tech is. And here are some of the crew. Crew members here, and they're enjoying everything. This is actually Fabian Wagner. This is Fabian Wagner right here. Exactly. They're really having a ball. Everybody's smiling. They really had a ball doing this movie. I can tell you that. Here's Batman. What scene is this, you may be asking? I think this is possibly when he's dropping down to fight a parademon. This could be in the hive in Russia. Could be when he leaps off to deal with the parademon. I love this. This is the Amazons, and they are basically breaking the pillars. Remember that in the movie when they smashed the pillars? There they are, doing that. Jason Momoa. Zack here. I tell you, man, Zack is definitely the Flash. Zack's in his absolute glee. Look at this guy. I mean, you can tell he is just a comic book nerd. He's geeking out just watching and filming this stuff. And you can feel his joy in the movie. That's what... It's so hard for me to say this is not a Zack Snyder movie, the movie that's in theaters right now. It's just so hard for me to say that because when you see all of this different footage here, man, and the joy... Look at the joy in his face. He's like a little boy in a toy store. I mean, it's just, I mean, and he knows what he's doing. They know what they're doing, and it really comes across visually. That's why I love Justice League, folks. That's why I love it. I would love to see a Zack Snyder cut of it. I gotta tell you, but I love Justice League. Just the making of this stuff and the technology they used. This was here. Some footage. This is where Zack's son, Jet Snyder, or Jet, came into helping Zack. He principally worked on the cyborg scene. So that's why Jet was talking about stuff being cut out of the movie. And he was kind of disappointed because I noticed Jet was primarily working on the cyborg stuff. Here's Wagner in the background again. So Wagner was working with Zack. And Zack really does take time. He's so meticulous. There's so much detail in his movies. It's not funny. You know, and that's what Wagner was talking about. Fabian Wagner was talking about, man, look, man, I would love to see, of course I would love to see Snyder's cut of this movie. I would love to. I never said I didn't. I just don't think people should badmouth the movie that's there because that's essentially Zack's movie anyway. And yeah, it's truncated to 2 hours, which is, most movies are truncated. They have extra footage that's left on the cutting room floor. All movies do that. So, you know, of course, Zack has so much detail. You know, this would have been a great backstory to see. But at the same time, man, I'm not going to be like, you know, hating on the current version. Absolutely not. Here's Zack. This is in the early days. And Jason Momoa, loving everything. There's Aquaman in the background. There's Mira. The concept art for Mira is the Flash. Concept art for the Flash and stuff like that. Batman suit and stuff like that. There's just a lot of stuff going on here. It's probably Mira's costume or maybe Aquaman's mother's costume. Who knows? There's Wagner again. He's filming everything. And remember this lady? There's a lot of good people that do so much work. There's another cameraman in the background, another guy here. Gal Gadot. Zach's just trying to get the angle right for Gal. Zack really knows how to work those angles, man. Remember this lady you saw in the wrap-up cut? And here's Zack again with Jason Momoa. This is in Iceland. And again, you see he's dressed in the gear that he was. That's, I tell you, this whole entire scene, almost everything in this scene with Aquaman and Bruce Wayne, in almost every scene with everything, it's almost entirely Zack's movie, okay? The only entire scenes which are, as I said before, Joss Whedon's is the first scene of the movie with the interview with Superman and one of the post-credit scenes. And it's Joss Whedon who decided to call those things post-credit scenes. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Here's Zack giving direction to the Atlanteans, all these different people of Earth, which we didn't see in the movie in particular. We just saw the Atlantean King for a brief moment in time. But it's just so awesome to see all of this anyway. So much meticulous detail that sometimes this just never makes it to the big screen, but it's there for the actors, and if you want to know more behind the scenes stuff, I guess. And this is again confirmation that you have a blue suit Superman, okay? Henry Cavill at the end of the movie, this is them on top of the platform. You know, when the end of the movie, you saw them standing on top of the tower of the nuclear plant. Well, this is them here. That's how we know it's a Zack Snyder shoot at the end of the movie. Now, the green screen behind you tells you that whatever they wanted to add or subtract or whatever they could do with the green screen. But for the most part, that ending was Zack Snyder. I love this this moment in the film with Aquaman saying, I'll feed you to every piranha I know. And that's actually, again, Zack Snyder. So that's why I'm wondering if Joss Whedon actually had anything to do with that scene we saw. I don't know. Here's Gal being shot separately to the rest of the crew. She said she had to shoot her scenes with that thing on the troop carrier separately to everybody else. So there it is. There's Batman. He actually gave Aquaman his trident. We saw it in the trailer, in the teasers to this movie, and it seems as though he had Aquaman's trident for some reason. I'm not too sure why. And he hands him back. So I guess Zack's cut has some variations to what we saw with the cut that would be the final cut. I love this. I was paying attention to that, but this is Zack drawing, just to let you know that what you're going to see next It's Zack that was actually penning the sequence. And here is Destro coming up on a boat. He is talking to Lex Luthor. He was standing up. Lex Luthor was sitting down. You see Lex Luthor talking to him. It's pretty much a recap of what you actually saw in the post-credit scene. Okay, this is the post-credit scene here, which is so awesome. So I thought, look at that. That's dead on in the movie. Like what you saw Zack drawing was exactly what was in the movie, and that's so cool. So I just wanted to share that with all of you guys, and just again show you evidence of all of this background behind the scenes stuff in the movie. Not one of those things was not in the movie, and that's to show you, because this principal cut, this is Zack Snyder's cuts of stuff. It's Zack Snyder's movie. I mean, Joss Whedon did a little one or two little touch-ups and little things in there, but it definitely wasn't Joss Whedon's movie. Zack was going for a lighter style. It's mostly Zack you're seeing with the lighter style. Whedon was trying to just connect the movie together pretty much. So at the end of the day, this is what Zack was going for. And a lot of you guys are going to be like, oh no, he wasn't going for that. No, he was going for that. Okay? That's not a Zack Snyder movie. It's a Zack Snyder movie. Okay? Stop it. All right? And those people, oh, this was cut out of the movie and that was cut out of the movie. No. The movie was going just the way it was going. Okay? We didn't get some more backstory on Cyborg. We didn't get some pieces of story for Barry Allen, but basically we got Barry Allen's backstory in a nutshell. Aquaman, we didn't get some extra stuff that you would have found out about Aquaman. But these guys all have their own movies. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much you didn't get certain action sequences. The action sequences didn't go on and on and on. Instead, Joss Whedon kind of cut it down, got to the point, keep the story moving. All right? So that's basically what you missed out of the movie. And then Joss Whedon put in the interview with Superman in the beginning and Superman racing the Flash at the end, which was also fun. I liked it. And the CGI is kind of improved, so it's all good. So I'm just saying, Joss Whedon didn't do much on this movie, okay? He might have had a say in how he definitely had a say in how things were cut out in the movie, what was not going to be in the movie and what was going to be in the movie. And he also had a say a little bit in terms of this, how the movie would look. But it seems as though Zack was working on that all along as well. The thing that makes this movie a little bit, I would say, for people to feel marvelish was because Joss Whedon brought in the Avengers score at times in the movie, and he also brought in the 1978 Superman theme in the movie. But the rest of the movies, for the most part, is staying in keeping with the tone of the movie. And I would say that I wish that Junkie XL had done this. Music makes a big difference in a movie. So Junkie XL would have been much more suspenseful. There would have been a lot more moments where it wouldn't have sounded wacky or too cartoonish. But for the most part, again, I think for what they were going for, I think Joss Whedon basically nailed it for the most part. He wasn't trying to dominate with the music. The music wasn't anything special, unlike the Hans Zimmer and the Junkie XL stuff that we got before. But at the same time, there were some moments of brilliance in the music, and it didn't take away from the action and the drama of the movie. So I thought it was well placed. It wasn't anything exceptionally well. It was brilliant in terms of what he was doing and fusing different things, but I wouldn't say it was, on the level of Hans Zimmer or Junkie XL. But it served its purpose, and that's the important thing. All right, guys. So you can use this to debunk different people when they talk about this is not Zack Snyder's movie, or a lot of things were cut from the movie and all of those kind of stuff. Really, it's a lot of baloney. I'll be honest with you. The movie, in essence, is a Zack Snyder film in how it flows through from all the behind-the-scenes footage I saw, plus all of the trailers that I saw. Nah, this movie is mostly Zack Snyder's movie. It's just that when I say mostly Zack Snyder's movie, I mean it's not cut out. The stuff that's cut out of this movie, it doesn't impact the plot in any way, shape, or form. I think the movie got to the point. It was very much to the point kind of movie, and that's what people want these days. So I think it was a good movie. As I said before, the only problem was the rumors and the out of control stuff, and you have to bring evidence, and that's what I'm now bringing so people can see. All right, you guys. You can share these videos. You guys have a great one.